Dr. Margo Prade was a highly respected physician in Akron, Ohio. She had dedicated her life to serving the community, specializing in obstetrics and gynecology. Her patients admired her for her caring demeanor and medical expertise. She was very successful in her career. She had a husband named Douglas Prade, who was a police officer of high ranking. They also had 2 daughters. But the things did not turn well, as they both got divorced and Dr. Margo Prade lived with her children. However, her life would take a dramatic turn when she became a part in a shocking event. On the cold morning of November 26, 1997, Margo's husband, Douglas Prade, had a call from a hospital. Dr. Margo was found dead in her car outside of her office. She had been shot 6 times. The news sent shockwaves through the community, as the couple had been divorced for several months but maintained a complex relationship due to their daughters and financial condition, and her husband, Douglas Prade, was in bad financial condition. Bullets were fired straight into her head and body. A bullet passed through her hand into her head. One of the most significant pieces of evidence that the prosecution relied on was a controversial bite mark. Police found a bite mark on the shoulder of Margo. A forensic odontologist told that bite marks found on Margo's body will be tested and notified. This seemingly damning evidence was to be presented in court and will play a crucial role in the conviction. The police immediately launched an investigation into the murder. Given the nature of the crime, they naturally looked into Douglas as a potential suspect, including other suspects. The detectives found some incriminating evidence that initially raised suspicions. There were allegations of a bitter divorce, financial disputes, and a history of arguments between the former spouse. But there were 2 evidence which changed the whole story, as police was able to take a CCTV footage of a close-by car repair shop, but the video was not clear and murderer was unidentified. A man arrived at the police station who stated that he had seen the killer as he was on the scene. He told that to police that a man in a white-colored vehicle ran his car crossing him. As the police showed the pics of suspect, he identifies that it was Douglas Prade. Soon, the bite mark results came and matched Douglas Prade's dental impression. Police took a quick action and took him into custody. In attempt of killing his ex-wife by shooting her 6 times from a .38 caliber revolver. But Douglas was not guilty of the murder, as he said that he was at the gym at the time of murder as he bought a witness who saw him at the gym. But the clever investigators managed to unravel the truth, as the time difference between the murder and when he was at gym mismatched, as it seemed like he came to the gym after attempting the murder. But there was no solid evidence. In 1998, Douglas Prade stood trial for the murder of his ex-wife. The prosecution argued that his motive, combined with the bite mark evidence and a witness, was enough to secure a conviction. The jury agreed, and after several months, he was found guilty of aggravated murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, effectively ending his career. His wife, Margo, had a life insurance of $75,000 in the name of Douglas, and he was not doing well financially, so police suspected that he might be the one to attempt the murder. He stayed in the prison for more than a decade. But in 2002, the Ohio Innocence Project took an interest in Dr. Prade's case. They believed that he had been wrongfully convicted and began investigating the evidence again. They enlisted the help of renowned forensic experts who concluded that the bite mark analysis was unreliable and scientifically unsound. This revelation cast doubt on the key piece of evidence that had led to his conviction. In December 2012, after spending 15 years in prison, Douglas' conviction was overturned. The new evidence and the discrediting of the bite mark analysis led to his release from prison. He had maintained his innocence throughout his incarceration. And finally, the justice system recognized a potential miscarriage of justice. His release was met with a mix of relief and outrage. Supporters believed that he had been unjustly imprisoned for a crime he did not commit, while others still had doubts about his innocence. Despite the challenges he faced, Douglas Prade was determined to rebuild his life. But this was not for a long time. After 2 years, a new judge announced that the evidence was not enough to prove Douglas innocent, and Douglas was sent back to resume his life sentence, while his supporters and family members do not view him as a murderer and are still trying to investigate the real reason to prove him innocent and find the real murderer of Margo Douglas. Make sure to like and also join the channel.